Every single day, Sugira Joseline makes a long journey to come over here and help this man. His name is Mbonyimana Israel Lazaro, a 37 years old man whose kindness brought him closer to death, and today he's still living with the scars of his crazy and scary past. The two souls are now a couple and they are planning marriage in May of this year, but surprisingly, they are both unemployed and paying their bills. Is a daily battle they fight courageously, sometimes with success but other times without success. The story of how Lazaro escaped his grave to meet this beautiful woman is a miracle you cannot afford to miss out. Everything started back in 2009 when Lazaro attended a scouting ceremony at his former secondary school in Burundi, where he would spend a few days. But at the same school, a serious, deadly plan was taking shape behind closed doors. Irakoze Joseline was the dean of the students at the school. She had received the report of a local police officer who was trying to sleep with one of the most beautiful girls of the school, and she decided to confront him. The officer was so embarrassed and almost got fired, which angered him and triggered a furious revenge. The revenge was simply to kill Joseline, and by the time Lazaro visited the school, the officer was already finalizing his plot. The plan was to throw a grenade into her room, and by the night they chose to do it, Joseline was fortunate enough to be out of the room, but for Lazaro, it was the biggest misfortune of his life. When the killers broke the door, they came straight to my room and opened the grenade. It immediately bursted and tore my body. I was just 22 years old by then. I was asleep deep into the night when I held the big blast. I woke up immediately and tried to flee, but I couldn't open the door because I couldn't stand. The fragments of the grenade had penetrated deep into my body. It took a moment for Lazaro to know what had just happened, but when his hand touched the sea of blood he was lying into, everything started to be clear right away. He screamed in pain, and people who had held the grenade blast rushed in to help him. They quickly rushed him to the hospital, but by the time they reached there, it was already too little too late. Since then, I've been paralyzed. The lower part of my body doesn't function at all. I cried loudly and other people came over to see me. They rushed me to the hospital, but the hospital was not able to treat me. I was told by the doctors that if I can go to India, I would have a chance to walk again. But back then, my family was so poor to afford such an expensive medical trip, and that's how I ended up in the wheelchair. I returned home and waited to die. It is quite ironic how Lazaro's girlfriend's name is similar to the woman he was sacrificed for. He met his girlfriend after he was taken to Rwanda for advanced treatment, which didn't help a lot, but stabilized him. He started to use this wheelchair and got an opportunity to advance his education, which is how he met his soulmate. Their romantic journey was full of trials and tribulations, but their patience is paying off in ways they had never imagined. I met this woman in 2014 when I had gone to the hospital, and we had a little chat before she took my phone number. For the next 7 years, she never called me once, until 2021 when my phone rang, and when I picked up, I heard her voice. We started dating, and in 2023, we discussed our friendship and decided to marry each other. We were planning to do our wedding in May of this year. For Joseline, it was difficult to engage with a disabled person who doesn't show any signs of recovery in the near future. Importantly, Joseline had other men who wanted a relationship with her, but she had decided to spend the rest of her life with this man because of his sincere and genuine love. I took his number because I had loved him. At that time when we had a little chat, he was very funny and very charming. I could see that he was disabled, but that didn't discourage me. I just wanted to talk to him again and enjoy his funny stories once more. It was not possible to talk to him right away. I lost his phone number, but in 2021, I found the phone number and called him. Luckily, he picked up and he remembered my voice instantly. Since then, we continued to talk until we started our relationship. Today, Lazaro lives alone in a house which is paid by one of his friends. He has graduated with a bachelor degree in finance, but up to now, he struggles to find a job because of his disability, which clearly hampers his opportunities. But throughout such a tough life, his girlfriend comes to his house every day and helps him with everything he needs. She takes him out to take some fresh air and cleans his dishes. She has to make sure that there is food that will sustain him until she comes back. It was a very difficult decision for Jocelyn, and it has cost her friends who cannot imagine how she chose this man of all people who had shown interest in her. My friends told me that living with a disabled person was the wrong choice since I would spend most of my time taking care of him. They also told me that I will be a poor woman forever since my husband cannot work and will never bring money to our family. I've held so many things, but my love for him didn't allow me to listen to them. For Lazaro, he completely understands the sacrifice this woman is making, and he truly appreciates her from the bottom of his heart. Many people think that it was only because of money that Jocelyn could choose him, but that can't be further from the truth. She's a gift from God. It would be difficult for me as someone who lives with a disability to find a beautiful woman to marry. The dating market for people like me is extremely brutal and unforgiving, but with God, everything is possible. When I told my friends about my upcoming marriage, some of them asked me if my partner is also disabled. They think that as a disabled person, I should marry another disabled person. Some people also try to say that she has accepted me because of my wealth, but as you have seen, I don't have a lot of money and we are generally not rich. The foundation of our love is only God. Whenever this man needs to go somewhere, he has to call his girlfriend to come over and help him. Because of poverty, he lives in a cheap rent in a mountainous region, which makes his movement incredibly difficult even when he has a wheelchair. Jocelyn will have to push him, but she struggles with it because of his strength. Their house is far from the road, and because of that, he has lost various opportunities like job interviews because of the delays. That's why he's wishing to live near the road in order to increase his chances to move around quickly. The problem I face are quite many, but one of the biggest is my movement. I struggle to find the transportation to go where I want, and that hinders my opportunity. Sometimes I get invited to do a job interview in a far place, but I struggle to reach there in time because of my disability and lack of proper transportation in the city. I would like to live closer to the road so that I don't have to make long journeys coming up here. I also need the support in the preparations of my wedding. It will be a big day for us, and we will be very happy if people support us. You can help this family to prepare their wedding through GoFundMe links found in the description and pinned in the top comments. Thank you for watching The Index. You can subscribe to help us share the story of this family, and by doing that, you're playing your part in making the world a better place.